Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the English Beat, your slow, simple, and easy English podcast. I'm Ben. Today, we will learn English through a very famous book. The book is called Deep Work. The writer is Cal Newport. He's a professor. He studies focus, attention, learning, and productivity. Productivity means how well you use your time. This book is very important for language learning. It teaches you how to focus deeply. Deep focus helps you speak better. Deep focus helps you listen better. Deep focus helps you learn faster. You listen, you relax, you understand the ideas, and you learn English naturally. You can repeat this episode tomorrow or next week. So, take a deep breath, and let's begin our journey into deep work. Chapter 1. What is deep work? The first chapter explains the basic idea. Deep work means working with full attention. When you work with full focus, you give all your attention to one thing. You do not look at your phone. You do not check notifications. You do not read messages. You do not let distractions enter your mind. A distraction is anything that takes your attention away from your work. For example, a message, a sudden noise, TikTok, Instagram, or any small thing that pulls your mind away. When you do deep work, you use your brain in a strong and powerful way. You think clearly, you understand faster, you learn quickly, you remember more. Cal Newport says deep work is a superpower. A superpower means a very special ability that gives you amazing results. Now, why does he call it a superpower? Because most people today live in a distracted world. They check their phone many times every hour. They stop, they start, they change tasks again and again. They do not stay with one task for long. A task simply means one thing you are doing. So when you can focus deeply, you become different. You stand out. You learn more than other people. You finish work faster. You produce better results. Your mind becomes sharp and calm at the same time. Now, let's connect this to English learning. Deep work is one of the best tools for learning a language. When you study English deeply, your brain becomes fully active. It listens carefully. It processes information. It builds strong memories. Deep study means listening to English with your full focus, reading slowly, and understanding every sentence, speaking with attention and thinking in English without rushing. When you practice English like this, your brain learns faster and keeps the language in your long-term memory. Long-term memory means you remember something for many years, not just for a few minutes. So, deep work turns your English study into real progress. It helps you grow day by day in a strong and steady way. Chapter 2. Shallow work and deep work. In this chapter, Cal Newport explains the difference between two kinds of work. One kind helps your brain grow. The other kind keeps you busy, but does not help you improve. Understanding this difference is very important for your English learning, because the way you study English can be deep or shallow too. Deep work, as we said before, is when you focus completely on one thing. Your mind becomes calm, strong, and clear. You learn more in less time. You remember better. You understand more deeply. Deep work feels a little heavy sometimes because your brain is truly working. Now, shallow work is the opposite. Shallow work is easy. It is simple and does not need much thinking. You can do it even when your mind is half asleep. You can do it while checking your phone. You can do it while listening to noise or jumping from one thing to another. Shallow work takes time, but it does not help you grow. Cal Newport says most people spend their whole day doing shallow work. They answer quick messages. They scroll through apps. They jump from email to video to chat. They move fast, but they do not go deep. They feel busy, but they do not make progress. Progress means moving forward in a real way. Think about your English learning for a moment. Many learners stay in the shallow zone. They watch English videos, but they also check their phone at the same time. They read something in English, but they skip lines quickly and do not fully understand. They listen to English, but their mind is half somewhere else. This kind of learning feels easy, but it does not help your English grow in a strong way. Shallow English learning is like walking in water that is only up to your ankles. It is safe and simple, but it does not train your body. Deep English learning is like swimming. You go fully in. Your whole attention is in the water. Your brain works harder, and because of that, you become stronger. Cal Newport explains that shallow work is not useless. Sometimes you must do simple tasks, but the problem is when shallow work fills your whole day. If you never enter deep focus, you never reach your potential. Potential means the best you can become, and this is true for English too. If you always study in a shallow way, you will stay stuck at the same level for many years. When you listen to English deeply, something beautiful happens. You start to understand things that were difficult before. Your ears catch new sounds. Your mind begins to recognize patterns. A pattern is something that repeats again and again, like the sounds and structures in English. Deep listening trains your brain to notice these patterns. Shallow listening does not do that. When you read English deeply, you slow down. You look at each sentence. You understand the meaning. You notice how the words connect your brain, build strong memory pathways. A pathway is a small road inside the brain that helps information move easily. When you read shallowly, you just pass your eyes over the text. The brain does not build anything new. When you speak English deeply, you pay attention to your words. You think about the sentence you want to say. You listen to your own voice and adjust it. Adjust means change it a little to make it better. Deep speaking helps you become clear and confident. When you think in English deeply, you make your brain work in the new language. You move ideas from your own language into English with careful attention. This builds true fluency. Fluency means speaking smoothly and naturally. Cal Newport says, deep work creates high-quality results, and shallow work creates average results. When you study English deeply, you make high-quality progress. When you study shallowly, you make slow, weak progress. Imagine two learners. One listens to an English podcast with full attention for 20 minutes. The other listens to the same podcast while checking WhatsApp, switching apps, and looking at the clock every few seconds. They spent the same time, but they did not get the same result. The first learner did deep work. The second one did shallow work. Only one of them will grow quickly. Cal Newport believes shallow work is dangerous when it becomes a habit. A habit is something you do every day without thinking. Many people build shallow habits without noticing. They pick up their phone automatically. They switch tasks without reason. They check messages again and again. These habits weaken the mind. Weaken means make something less strong. English learners often build these shallow habits too. They jump from video to video. They watch short clips instead of deep lessons. They study with noise, messages, and distractions. They feel like they are learning, but they are not going deep enough. The good news? You can change this. You can train your mind to do more deep work and less shallow work. You can make deep English practice a daily part of your life. Your mind becomes stronger each time you enter this deep space, and when your mind becomes stronger, your English grows naturally, like a plant that finally gets enough water and sunlight. Deep work helps you discover your true learning power. Shallow work hides it. Deep work builds your English step by step. Shallow work leaves you standing in the same place. Now, this chapter teaches you one simple truth. If you want strong English, you need strong focus. And strong focus comes from choosing deep work over shallow work again and again. Chapter 3. Why Deep Work Matters. Cal Newport begins this chapter with a simple idea. Deep work matters because it changes your brain, it changes your skills, and it changes your future. When something matters, it means it is important, it is useful and valuable in your life. Deep work is not just a type of work. It is a way of training your mind to become stronger, clearer, and more focused. When your mind becomes strong like this, everything you learn becomes easier, especially a language like English. Cal Newport says we live in a world that asks for strong thinking. Many jobs today need you to learn complex skills. They need you to understand difficult ideas and produce good results quickly. Complex means not simple, something that needs real thinking. Deep work helps you learn complex skills faster, and it helps you produce better results. So deep work becomes a powerful advantage. An advantage is something that gives you a better chance to succeed. Now let's bring this into your English learning journey. When you learn English, you're not only learning words, you are training your brain to make new connections. A connection is a small link between ideas in your mind. These connections help you understand grammar, remember vocabulary, and speak more smoothly. Deep work strengthens these connections because your attention stays in one place for a long time. When your attention stays with English, your brain slowly builds a strong foundation for the language. A foundation is the basic structure that supports everything you learn later. The author gives 3 big reasons why deep work matters. Reason 1. Deep work helps you learn skills faster. A skill is something you can do well after practice, like speaking English clearly or understanding a conversation. When you focus deeply, your brain becomes fully awake. It pays attention to the details. It notices small things that you usually miss. For example, when you listen deeply to English, you begin to notice the rhythm of the language, the way words connect, the small sounds between words. These details are what make your English feel natural. Shallow listening misses these details, so the skill never grows strong. Deep listening builds a strong skill. Reason 2. Deep work helps you create high-quality work. High quality simply means very good. When you write something in English with deep focus, your sentences become clearer. Your ideas become clearer. Your brain chooses better words because it is fully engaged. Engaged means fully involved. When you speak with deep focus, you speak more confidently because your mind knows what it wants to say. Deep work helps you do your best English, not just average English. Reason 3. Deep work saves time. Many people think deep work takes a long time, but the truth is different. Deep work helps you finish tasks faster because you're not stopping and starting. You're not switching between apps. You're not losing energy. You are focused. When you learn English with deep attention, even 20 minutes gives you more progress than 2 hours of distracted practice. You study less, but learn more. This is the real magic of deep work. Cal Newport also explains a special idea called the attention economy. Let me say that again, the attention economy. This simply means many companies fight for your attention. Your phone, your apps, your notifications, they are designed to pull you away from deep thinking. They want your attention because attention is valuable. But when your attention is always outside of you, you lose your ability to focus inside your mind. And when you lose your ability to focus, learning becomes slow. English learning needs your attention. The more you give your attention to English, the stronger your English becomes. But if your attention is always broken by small distractions, your progress becomes slow and weak. You might learn a little, but you never reach your full potential. That is why deep work matters for English learners. It protects your attention and directs it towards your growth. Cal Newport believes deep work is becoming rare. Rare means not common. Most people today cannot focus for long. They get bored quickly. They switch tasks many times. They say they want to learn something, but their attention runs away from the work. Because so many people cannot focus, the few who can focus become very powerful. They learn better. They grow faster. They succeed more. This is another reason deep work matters. It separates strong learners from ordinary learners. Think about your English journey again. Imagine 2 students. One studies English with full focus every day, even for a short time. The other studies with half attention, checking messages, and jumping between apps. After 1 month, the difference between them becomes clear. One speaks more naturally. One understands more deeply. One remembers words easily. The other does not. The difference is not talent. It is focus. Deep work also matters because it builds discipline. Discipline is the ability to stay with something even when it feels hard or slow. With discipline, you keep going, you keep learning, you keep growing. Deep work trains discipline because it teaches your mind to stay still and calm even when the world tries to distract you. This chapter also teaches a comforting truth. Deep work is not about perfection. It is not about being perfect every time. It is about intention. Intention means doing something on purpose with a clear reason. When you study English with intention, even small moments become powerful. A 10-minute focused listening session becomes a real moment of growth. A short reading session becomes a deep step forward. A simple paragraph becomes a strong learning experience. Intention changes everything. The author reminds us that deep work does not happen by accident. It happens by choice. Each day you decide whether your English practice will be deep or shallow, and each day your brain grows in the direction you choose. You are making a choice. Deep work matters because it gives you control over your mind. It gives you control over your learning. It gives you control over your growth. And when you apply it to English, it turns your practice into something powerful, meaningful, and life-changing. Chapter 4. The Deep Work. Hypothesis. Cal Newport begins this chapter with one main idea. He calls it a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a strong idea that you believe is true even before you show all the proof. It is like a guiding belief, something you trust so much that it shapes your actions. His hypothesis is simple but powerful. In today's world, the ability to do deep work is becoming very rare, and because it is rare, it is becoming extremely valuable. The people who learn to do deep work will become successful in almost any area of life. When something is rare, it means not many people have it. When something is valuable, it means it can help you reach your goals. Cal Newport says deep work is both rare and valuable, and that combination makes it special. Now let's bring this idea into your English learning. Most English learners today study in a shallow way. They use many apps for only a few minutes. They watch English clips while doing something else. They listen with half attention. They read quickly without understanding. Deep English practice is rare. You almost never see someone sit quietly and listen to English with full concentration for 20 or 30 minutes. You almost never see someone read one English paragraph slowly and carefully. You almost never see someone practice speaking with a calm attention and clear intention. Because deep English learning is rare, it is also powerful. It gives you an advantage that other learners do not have. When something is rare, it becomes special. And when you choose to do what is rare, you begin to grow faster than most people. Cal Newport explains that the modern world is full of noise. Noise does not only mean sound, it also means mental noise. Too much information, too many apps, too many messages, too many things calling your attention. When your attention is always pulled in many directions, your mind becomes weak. A weak mind cannot learn deeply. A weak mind jumps from task to task, but never grows. English learning needs a strong mind. Your brain must hold sounds, words, ideas, and patterns. Your brain must stay with one idea long enough for it to enter your long-term memory. When you do shallow practice, the information only touches your brain for a moment. Then it disappears. But when you do deep practice, the information enters more deeply and stays longer. Cal Newport calls deep work a superpower because our world is designed to weaken your focus. Most people do not even realize this. They think they can learn something while checking their phone. They think they can listen to English while doing 5 other things. But the brain does not work like that. When your attention is divided, your learning becomes divided. Your progress becomes slow, and your confidence becomes weak. Now think of the opposite picture. Think of yourself sitting in a calm space. You are listening to English deeply. You hear every word. You follow every idea. You breathe slowly. You let the English enter your mind. This is deep work. In this moment, your brain is not only understanding English, it is building new pathways. These pathways make your English stronger for the future. That is why deep work becomes valuable. It creates long-term growth. The author also explains that deep work is valuable because it helps you learn complicated things. English might not feel complicated at the beginning, but mastering it needs strong focus. Mastering English means understanding natural speed, speaking clearly, reading smoothly. Deep work gives you the power to understand things that felt impossible before. Imagine listening to advanced English. Now, it might feel too hard. Your mind gets tired. You lose track of the meaning, but if you train your deep focus every day, even for short periods, your brain becomes stronger. One day, you will listen to the same advanced English and think, I understand this now. This change does not come from talent, it comes from deep work. So deep work should become a quiet promise you make to yourself. Say these sentences with me. I will learn deeply. Good. I will focus fully. Excellent. I will grow stronger every day. Fantastic. You are doing great. Chapter 5. Rule number 1. Work deeply. In this chapter, the author gives the first big rule of the book. You must work deeply. This sounds simple, but it is actually a very powerful idea. To work deeply means to enter a space of complete focus. To work deeply means to focus fully on one thing. When you focus fully, your attention is steady, your mind is calm, and your thinking becomes clear. Deep work helps your brain become stronger. The author says the modern world makes deep work difficult. Your phone lights up. Messages come in. You remember small things you need to do. Your mind jumps from one idea to another. Because of this, deep work does not happen by itself. You must create it. You must protect it. You must choose it. Working deeply is not only for school or work. It is also for learning English. When you study English deeply, you grow faster, listen better, understand more, speak more clearly. Deep work helps English enter your brain in a strong way. The author says deep work needs structure. Structure means a simple plan you can follow every time. If you wait for the perfect moment, it will never come. You must make the moment yourself. You train your brain to know, this is focus time. The author also talks about something called a ritual. A ritual is a small routine you do before you start. For example, sitting in the same chair, taking a slow breath, putting your phone away, opening your notebook. These small steps send a signal to your brain. A signal means a message. The message is, now it is time to focus. When you repeat the same steps every day, your brain begins to connect these steps with deep work. This is very helpful for English learning. Imagine this. Every day you sit down at the same time, you take one slow breath, and you put on your headphones. Your brain learns, now we are in English mode. Your mind becomes quiet and ready. Cal Newport also says you must remove distractions. A distraction is anything that pulls your mind away from your work. Your phone, noise, messages, or even your own thoughts can distract you. If you leave distractions open, they will break your focus again and again. Even one small vibration can stop deep work. And when deep focus breaks, it is hard to return. The author says deep work should be done in quiet blocks of time. A block of time means a period when you stay with one activity and do not switch. Switching breaks your flow. Flow means the smooth feeling when your mind is focused and everything feels connected. When you listen to English in a state of flow, something special happens. Your ears open. You catch small sounds you missed before. You understand how sentences are built. Your brain connects ideas like pieces of a puzzle. But if you keep switching apps or thinking of other things, the English slides away from your mind. The author also says your focus is like a muscle. A muscle becomes stronger when you use it. Your brain is the same. At first, deep work feels hard. After a few minutes, your mind wants something easy. But if you stay even a short time, your focus becomes stronger. Tomorrow, you can focus a little longer. Next week, even longer. Soon, deep work feels normal. This is very important for English learners. Many learners can only focus for a minute or two, but with deep work training, your attention becomes longer. The author also says you should end your deep work clearly. When you finish, say to yourself, I am done. This helps your brain rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest helps the brain organize what you learned. After deep listening, your brain quietly stores new words and ideas. You may not feel it, but learning continues even in silence. Another important idea is mental energy. The energy of your mind. Your brain cannot stay in deep focus all day. Deep work uses a lot of energy. The author says to do deep work when your mind is fresh. Fresh means ready. This is usually in the morning, but you can choose what works for you. For English learners, even 20 minutes of deep practice at the right time is better than 2 hours of shallow practice when you are tired. The author says that when you begin practicing deep work every day, your life starts to change. You feel calmer. You feel more confident. You feel proud because you build real skills. When you use deep work for English, the results feel almost magical. You begin to understand English more easily. Words stay in your mind. You feel language inside you. Your English becomes strong, steady, and real. Deep work becomes a quiet friend. It helps you. It guides you. It protects your progress. And when you follow this rule, even in small steps, your English rises to a new level. Chapter 6, Rule 2, Embrace Boredom. The author says, if you want to focus deeply, you must learn to embrace boredom. To embrace means to accept it calmly, without running away. Boredom is the feeling when nothing exciting happens. Most people think it's bad and grab their phone the moment they feel it. But boredom is not the enemy. It is a sign your brain is becoming quiet, and a quiet brain opens the door to deep work. Many English learners get bored fast. They listen for 1 minute, then switch. They read a paragraph, then check messages. A restless mind cannot learn deeply. When you feel bored but stay with the English, breathe, relax, continue, your brain changes. It settles. It understands more. Deep learning begins in that quiet moment. Practice boredom on purpose. Wait in line without your phone. Walk without headphones. These small moments teach your brain that calm is safe. Soon, you can listen longer, read slowly, focus without stress. Your mind enters stillness, the place where deep understanding grows. A deep life is a rich life, full of meaning, calm, and real growth. Deep work brings clarity, purpose, and peace. For English learners, deep practice builds a stronger mind and quiet confidence. It turns study into something that truly matters. Okay, my friend, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. You listened deeply, you stayed calm, you stayed focused. This alone is a powerful practice. Deep work is not only about studying, it is about the kind of person you become when you focus with care and attention. You have just learned the main ideas of deep work in clear, simple English. These ideas can guide your whole life, not just your English learning. When you choose depth, your mind becomes stronger. When you choose silence, your thoughts become clearer. When you choose focus, your skills grow faster. And when you bring these choices into your English practice, your progress becomes steady, real, and meaningful. I want you to remember something. You do not need perfect English to grow. You only need deep attention, a quiet mind, and a few minutes each day. Deep work is built one small session at a time. Your English grows the same way, slowly, gently, step by step. If you enjoyed this episode, you can listen again tomorrow or next week. Deep listening helps your brain remember and understand more each time. Let your English sink in slowly. Let it become part of you. I'm Ben, and this is The English Beat. Until next time, take care of your mind, protect your focus, and keep walking your English journey with calm, deep steps. Bye for now.